country that prides itself on equality. So how would you feel knowing that when you walk into a shop, you may be charged more based on your appearance?
It's been dubbed the pink tax, the gender-based price disparities that see women cop a heftier price tag for products like razors, deodorant, and even shampoo. But it's not just the pink packaging that sees female customers often forking out more. Women are also being ripped off at the mechanics.
How does that make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel pretty angry because I work pretty hard for my money and I like to spend it on things I like, not boring things like servicing my car.
A US study shows that, on average, women pay $35 more than men for a car repair service. And separate research reveals women who ring up for a quote are charged more than their male counterparts when they appear uninformed about market prices.
The assumption would be that women don't know much about cars, so it's quite easy to tack on, $35.
I very much rely on my dad to navigate that for me. It's just all against us. Time to rise up.
In fact, just this week, an Aussie mechanic fessed up on radio that female customers do often cop a higher price.
You do often get some women come in sometimes and you might put an extra 10-15% on their charge.
We heard recently where a lady had car repairs getting carried out without any pre-approval or anything, and then it wasn't until she went to collect the vehicle where the mechanic had stated to her that he could waive the invoice if she were to come over to his place for a barbecue.
It's the reason Mariah Teal was inspired to start her business, which has a motto to help women avoid the gender gap trap.
A lot of the women that we deal with, they are helpless. Like, they have nowhere to go, they don't know who to contact because they're not sure what advice is the right advice. Something needs to change overall.
It's an experience Alice Bleathman knows all too well, sharing her story of being ripped off twice while trying to get a roadworthy for her van, left hundreds of dollars out of pocket with the issue still not fixed.
This is like the reality sometimes of being a female and asking for help,
Yeah, you have to worry about a mechanic when they disguise their voice, don't you? Anyway, Alice Bleathman is here to tell us more about her story. Alice, thanks so much for coming on. What was it that made you so upset?
I think the biggest thing for me was how belittled I felt and how difficult it was for me to kind of articulate my particular concerns. And it's when you're getting these things done by professionals, you really want to get them done well and you're sort of expecting people to do their jobs, and when they don't, it is really hard. And then the way that you're being talked to or, feeling belittled, it's just so hard to be able to articulate, what you need to get done.
Alice, when you were at the mechanic, what made you think that these mechanics may have been taking you for a ride?
A couple of things. Firstly, the money. It was stuff that was really kind of, in my eyes, not an extremely exorbitant ask, and it was just a very expensive process. Unbeknownst to me, I just sort of say yes and pay for it, which I think in hindsight is something that I can definitely learn from this experience. But I think as well, experiences recently where they've said they've done something and it's not been done, or it's been done really poorly and then it needed to be done again. That's kind of made me draw the conclusion that, maybe they have taken me for a ride and, I just didn't know until, future Alice found out a couple of weeks down the line.
And how much of how you were treated do you think was because you are a woman?
I don't want to say it was because I was a woman, but I have recently discovered that sharing it on social media and then also experiencing it in comparison, say, my partner, it is definitely largely because I'm a female. And I think as well, largely because naturally females don't know as much about these sort of male-dominated industries like mechanical work on cars. So we are naturally going to be taken more advantage of.
Alice, we could certainly do with more transparency in the industry. So what is your message to the mechanics out there who are whacking an extra 10 to 15% on the price for women?
Honestly, honesty. It's not hard to be honest and it's not hard to be fair. Everyone here is just trying to do their best, and we need to be honest in these industries, and we need to be honest in every single industry because, we're all hardworking people, and at the end of the day, it's not hard to just be fair and honest. So that's my message.
It's a good message, just to say, if there are any mechanics watching I know absolutely nothing, and you can take me for a ride and I will pay through the nose because I just want the car to work. Alice, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
You're not meant to tell people.
Right. Well, you take me with you. Now, I like to think I know a thing or two about cars, but I went and got a car repaired because there was a rattle in it, and the mechanic said to me, "Do you think it's in your head?" And I'm like, no, it might have blown a gasket.
No, but hang on, because you are a car expert. Like, you love them. Can I take you if I ever have an issue with something mechanical? Because I have no idea.
I am your wing woman.
Yeah.
In fact, yours and yours as well.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I get taken for I get rinsed like Max as well. Moron brothers over here.
Is there something that we should know, though? Like, is there...
I think be a little bit informed. So speak to someone before you go if something's wrong with your car and just throw in the odd term. You know,
Like
the
what?
odd
Like, hang
mechanical
on.
term.
Like what?
I'll give you
Wheels.
The wheels go round and round, right?
Yeah. Because I feel like I would be so out of my depth in that kind of situation as well. I'm exactly like Alice.